Morning, everybody. Today we're playing updated Rakdos Cecil. Not huge updates here. The big thing is I really wanted main deck Kolaghan's command so we wouldn't be as cold to Corey Steel Cutters. And also Kolaghan's command has just been really good for me. It's feels great to say that, but I like just the slightly higher mana curve. I really like having access to this card. K command like buyback FOMO especially is just kind of a good way to outgrind opponents. Just go a tiny bit bigger. And this was a big breakout deck that I want to get a little bit more focus on before Edge of Eternities comes out next Tuesday. This is our last stream before Edge comes out. I'm not streaming Monday, not streaming this weekend. Going to be just taking that time to build a bunch of decks. Going to post as many of them to Moxfield as I can. Really hit the ground running Tuesday afternoon once it goes live. So on the draw against Boros. So we're going to go Unholy Heat probably into DRC plus Thoughtseize. Don't hate drawing third land. Change the camera angle a little bit too, although I also moved my monitor, so I might need to adjust it. It's like on the other monitor I did it was a little bit weird because it was getting the door, but in this angle it gets the lamp fixture. So still working on that, I guess. Maybe I need to just mount it in between my monitors, because a lot of people think I'm short. Not that that's a problem, but people seem to think I'm short because I have my camera angle coming down from the monitor. But I kind of like this angle. You also get to see one of the my concept art paintings in the background. All right, so they just have a bombardment on turn 2. Would be really nice to get Delirium off of the Surveil so that this Channeler isn't super easy to kill. I think we're still playing it. Nice that we do have a Cling to Dust for a Flage. So no Delirium for us on the Surveil. They have an Ajani, they have a Flage, they have a Ragavan. Feel pretty confident we got to take this Ajani. And then if they don't top deck another like 2 mana creature, 1 mana creature, we're in good shape, or like a Johnny. Because I don't really care if they trade Ragavan for DRC. I don't really care if they trade Flage for DRC. I do care if they double spell here. Then all I can do is Thoughtseize the Flage. Okay, so that's a good outcome for us. If I Thoughtseize their Ragavan or whatever else this turn, then I'm going to need to also Cling to Dust the Flage, since that's going to put the extra card in their yard. Right, on the other hand is Ragavan and a mystery card, and I do think I want to Thoughtseize the Ragavan. They also have an Ocelot Pride. The Pride is more easily contained by this FOMO, so I think that's what we're going to grab. And I'm going to go to main phase the Cling. We don't want to get got by just top deck Arena of Glory. And then hopefully we draw a 1 or 2 mana spell, and we can FOMO and then get a little bit of card advantage from that. We do have Delirium now. Is this the Saga version? I haven't played a Saga version of Rakdos, nor do I think that, nor do I recommend it. The main reason to be Saga is so that you can play Hex Parasite Overlord, which I think if you want to do that, being mono black is a lot better. If you want to play a slower build, mono black with K command is kind of what I recommend. And if you want to play, do I want to survey? I think I want to be able to draw another 2-drop and not surveil right now. So you could I think if you want to play Saga, then I think it makes sense to play K command Overlord. Okay, nice. And if you want to play Rakdos, I think it makes more sense to be more aggressive. Okay, don't love going down to 8. They do only have 1 card in their hand. Okay, not a bad pickup. We still have the Cling to Dust too. Okay, the last card was a Galvanic Discharge, so thankfully we FOMO'd into a FOMO. Maybe they'll draw just not a spell. Or a Goblin Bombardment. Okay, I mean, that's kind of like that. Yeah, it doesn't really affect anything for me. Painful, but let's cycle it. So if I cycle this, I go down. I'm dead to a Flage. I think I have to. If I draw a land, also I can Cling to Dust. Okay, let's see what they're drawing so we can know how dead we are here. So they have a Guide of Souls on top. Hopefully we find a Graveyard Trespasser. That would be really ideal. Oh, wait. What happened? I didn't let's get my second attack. I guess I clicked through it. No, 3 Street Wraiths in a row. Oh my gosh. What a nightmare. So I can't cycle this or I'm dead to the bombardment. So I'm down to 2. Dead to some top decks. I could leave this back to block Ragavan. I think I need to kill them instead. And then like just try to dodge a draw step, and then we can also just cling to dust out of lethal range next turn. Dead. Damn. that stack of Street Wraiths in a row is so punishing. Kolaghan's command off the top. Dang. Okay. Down to game. So let's bring in the 2 Pyroclasms and the 3rd Graveyard Trespasser. And then both Nihil Spellbombs. And then I usually like the first Dreams over like at least 1 Thoughtseize. I think I've been doing like 2 Thoughtseizes, 1 Dreams against them. Oh, I also cut the Ragavan from the list, which is something that I was looking to cut. Now we're not playing anymore. I think I'm gonna go down 1 Phoenix, 2 Wraith, and then we could go down 1 more Thoughtseize. I want to keep in the K commands. Did I see the mono blue Lutri list? I don't know how out of the loop I am that you say the, like I should just know. I don't know. I have not. I would like to though. Daniel with the 41. Thank you. Welcome back. Did it like top 5-0 something or top 8 tournament or how much thought was put into Pyroclasm versus Fire Magic? A good amount of thought. So we talked a lot about this, but Fire Magic, I think, is mostly better than Pyroclasm. This deck is, I think, kind of a clear exception where your land count is low, your creatures all survive Pyroclasm, except for non-flipped DRC, and you play almost exclusively at sorcery speed anyways. So I think that the Pyroclasms are better here. Could be a conversation. Could we have clinged to gain life? No, not. Well, we could have clinged instead of heating the Guide of Souls. And then I think we're still dead to top deck of Johnny. Top 16 to challenge. Okay, let's take a look. The Days of Doing is freaking me out. With 1 Narset. I hate it. Hate the mission briefing. Congrats on the results. No Dismember is... Is there not a Dismember here? Feels like this is the easiest Dismember deck I've ever seen. Alright, hard matchup to mulligan in. We have the Bauble for the second look. We can function if we miss the first or second or third land drops. Keeping. So they're drawing a Sacred Foundry. I mean, Johnny is usually the most annoying thing. Snack with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Welcome back. 1 Dismember sideboard. I feel like it should like definitely be main deck. Not that I'm trying to be too critical. All right, we know they have the Purge, so let's not play a 1-drop here. Obviously, we may just be stuck on 1 land. Just very tough matchup to mulligan in. Okay, so we find a land. It's a red source. Whatever I play is going to get purged. Let's go FOMO discard Cecil, I think. Just having a creature in the graveyard for the K command is kind of nice, and then, of course, I'd like to have the highest chance of finding another land. Actually pretty interesting that they chose to hold up the Purge instead of Surveil. Maybe right now their hand is Spyro, Parlor. I think it's going to be 2 mystery cards, so maybe they have 3rd untapped land in their hand. Okay, there's 3rd untapped land. So this is 3 of their 4 cards. Oh, no. They Captain Blood Moon against me. I just didn't have a window. Tough start. I'm gonna keep going, I guess. I'm also enjoying Modern a lot now, so I'm trying more so to just enjoy a format I'm liking instead of screaming into the void about how I think we could improve the format. Anything you noticed after the video? Yeah, there's the black sorcery. We even talked about it on stream. I just missed it when doing my second comb through of cards. But the one that it's like Void, draw an extra card, and it's like Surveil 1, draw a card for 2 mana. I think if you have Void, you draw an extra one. That card is interesting. What else apart from Ajani? Yeah, I would. Okay, I guess we could talk about it, but I don't really want to spend a lot of time on this. But I would think I would ban K Command, Ajani, Amulet. I think that those 3 cards would really improve the format a lot. And then there's a few unbans I might want to do, but I think those are kind of my big 3 that I think would just make Modern way more fun and open. Oh, sorry, I did not mean to play that yet, although I'm almost definitely playing it. So they only have 3 cards in their hand. It seems like they mulligan to 6. Now, as far as we're not going to quite have reliable Delirium here, so I think I need to Surveil. Getting a little flooded. If they Thoughtseize, we'll go ahead and fire off the heat, I guess. Why buy Amulet instead of Primetime? Well, it's the more powerful card. It's the most efficient and most powerful mana generating card in Modern's history. It's 1 mana. It's tutorable off Urza Saga. It's the most broken card of the deck by a lot. It's the most efficient card of the deck by a lot. Usually you want to ban the 1 mana artifact enabler instead of the 6 mana creature, I think. But also, like, if Titan was banned, it wouldn't even really hurt the Amulet deck that much. Like, with their Aftermath Analyst loops and Cultivator Colossus, it wouldn't be that big a deal. It would be a big deal, but it would not kill the deck. Hater energy. I guess I still feel this way. I also, I don't want to relitigate all this, but I always feel like I lay out pretty reasonable and normal points on this that are met with a lot of anger and not a lot of calm counterpoints. Yeah, Cloudpost was pre-banned. They have a second frog. They do have a second frog. That's definitely a problem. So I think I'm going to graveyard that for another type here. New Lightning with the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Does feel bad to graveyard a FOMO. It feels bad to draw another land. We're only on 18 lands in this deck. Let me graveyard that, and then I'm going to attack and then see if my opponent wants to block with this frog and discard cards. It might have been better to main phase so we could have found the Detective's Phoenix, but this is the line we took. All right, I guess I'm keeping that. New Lightning in 3 months. Thank you so much. Albert with the Twitch Prime. Thank you also. I think the anger is mostly one side of the debate. I don't even know which side you're talking about. I'll say this. I've been on the internet a long time as a full-time content creator. I've never had more weird parasocial anger come at me, even when I've talked about politics, than when I've talked about Amulet of Titan. So I don't feel like that's what you mean, but that's been my experience. So is this an Oculus or a Murktide? A Murktide would be a 7/7, which would be pretty annoying, so hopefully it's an Oculus. Okay, thankfully that's the case. So if I can surveil a Phoenix into the yard, then we can get lethal here. Okay, I could maybe escape that this turn too, which is not bad. Of course, Amulet's more powerful. I think less powerful version of Amulet should be part of Modern, just by 2 cents. I mean, I just don't like the Mishra's Workshop argument. It's iconic. It's been around for a long time. It's just the Mishra's Workshop argument, which is, you can have it. I just disagree. We could be on opposite sides of this. All right, so we're going to go down to 4 types here when we exile our only sorcery. Going to keep enchantment in the yard. Typing comments trying to engage versus screaming FU, FU, IDK, man. Typing comments trying to engage versus screaming FU, FU, IDK, man. I don't know what you're saying. Are you saying I'm screaming FU, FU, or like I don't I don't know. I don't even know what you're saying. I don't know. I haven't understood anything the Amulet players are saying, if that's what's happening here. If you feel my comments on Amulet have been akin to screaming "fu fu," I'm sorry. That's not been my intent or my my thoughts here. Nor certainly is that not what has happened today. You did? Well, if I did, I apologize for that. Certainly not what happened today. Okay, if I play another Goyf, I exile creature, or so I guess I just exile the Phomos. That's enchantment, creature, land, instant. So I would play another fetch land first, and then I would have creature, land in the yard. This would have 2 damage. I guess I would have 3 lethal creatures in play. No, you literally did. I'll pull the clip. I mean, thank you. I apologize in the same breath. How are you like, I'll literally pull the clip. Pull the clip. I want to see it. Pull the clip. But how are you like, I'm apologizing in the same breath, and in the middle of that same breath, you're typing, no, you literally did. I pulled the clip. And then you hear me say, I apologize. Thank you. Unbelievable. This is exactly what I'm talking about with the like weird parasocial Titan players being more upset about this. Just the fact that I think Amulet of Vigor should be banned in Modern. More upset about this than anything else I've ever done in my history of streaming. It's unbelievable. Pull up the clip though. I'll look at the clip. If I said fuck you, I do apologize in any context. I shouldn't have done that. When you're in front of a camera, you're going to overreact. You're going to say things you don't, feel good about saying. And so there's that. But this kind of behavior is also exactly what I'm talking about. It's not very fun. So they discard a Force of Negation. All right, so up a game here against Dimir. Gonna bring in the Edicts, gonna bring in the extra Graveyard Trespasser. I don't know if we're gonna bring in the Baubles. So the Spellbomb's not gonna bring in the Baubles. Hate Command I do think can be good in these like longer games where you're like, the board is like open and you just need to get 2 for 1s, but I think I might just cut 1. Has there been a massive upsurgence of Amulet lately? There wasn't. It's on the downtick right now. A couple of weeks ago, it was like the second most popular deck in Modern, but it's downticked. This is just kind of normal for Amulet too. But again, Amulet is also a deck that like almost would never be a big percentage share because of the complexity of plays and how people don't gravitate to it. I want to move on from the Amulet talk. This is my position. I've given my position so many times, and I will not be cyberbullied or debate lorded. I don't really care that much. But it's also very boring. We've went through this so many times with Amulet. This is exactly the energy I'm talking about. It's just the Amulet players make it so miserable for me. Might haste a Cecil next turn and flip it. They have a snare and a scolding. Can play around the scolding better than the snare. DJ Gigante, the 3 years. Thank you. Welcome back. So they don't crack the delta because I have the Bauble. I'm pretty happy with that if they're not going to surveil or scour. Just to like deny the info. They don't even do that. Interesting. So they scour in response, looking for another scolding or a fatal push. We are going to go down to 6 on this connection, so hopefully my Cecil lives for like at least a turn after that, so I can gain 6 life back. Allies in the Avatar set? Is that official? Listen, I don't care about the Spider-Man cards. I don't have the energy for it. I'm a big Spider-Man fan though, so I don't know why that's the case. I do have energy for Avatar cards, but if they're leaks, then we won't look at them. The Avatar promo from San Diego Comic-Con. I would love to take a look at that. I am so excited for the Avatar cards. Yeah, but I also do need to look at the Spider-Man spoilers. I haven't looked at them yet. Okay, so Cecil lost me a lot of life here. They still have a snare in their hand. We could go to 2 here. Yeah, I mean, cowards can't block warriors, as they say. I'm kind of more scared of the... Yeah, I'm going to take the Sink so that they can't just like have a Murktide and then they have a blocker for my Phoenix. And then my K command might be a good way to get the Snare out of their hand also. That's the 12 months. Thank you. Welcome back. The Spider-Man cards look mid as hell. I haven't looked at them yet. I don't even know exactly like what is the wave of spoilers from? Like what was the release? I mean, if I get Cecil back, I die. If I get Street Wraith back, I die. They have Snare, so I can't play the FOMO. I guess I'm just going to deal them 2 damage. Do this main phase also because I don't have an instant in the yard. It was also from Comic-Con? Dang, I need to go to Comic-Con. So they're going to take 7 down to 4 here. Dealt yourself 18 damage? Somebody's got to. Somebody's got to. Could maybe play a Shadow or 2 in this build. So they have a Fatal Push. Okay, better for me then. Well, I'm going to cast a creature. I'm going to cast another creature. And if we get Damnations... We get Damnation. Web Slinging, maybe the worst command. Yeah, I need to take a look, although I don't like to open the X-Slings. Maybe we wait to save this also for in between rounds of the challenge, because we get so bored then. I need to be better about saving that kind of stuff for like slow players or in between rounds. So sick. And it's really good when cards like that are really sick and they're pretty simple too. I like simple cards that evoke good response. All right, so you want to bobble yourself before you Wraith. So if you like your card to Wraith, and if you don't, you Marsh Flats. Did that clip ever get provided? I think probably not. But I'll look if it gets provided. Cecil. So no for loose focus. I actually almost added it. I think you have to play Thought Scour though in your DRC Murktide Goyf deck. I do think the Thought Scour is still like mandatory. But yeah, I did want to add the loose focus, and I ended up not feeling like there was a card I wanted to cut for it, I guess. So if I fetch Shock with this Marsh Flats, then I can flip the Cecil next turn at the cost of a Surveil, and a Surveil is really nice because of the. A Surveil is really nice because of the. Interesting. The Phoenix. I'm gonna not Surveil. I'm gonna fetch Shock. How often do you get a Wizard on field with Flame of Anor? Not that often. Maybe we could get Flame of Anor for loose focus. I would actually be, I think, pretty down for that. Oh, they discarded Traxa. Well, that's not good. If anything, the clip is going to be completely out of context. Well, I just want to see the clip. I mean, listen, I'm a live streamer. I'm going to say things that I regret and are embarrassing and are, you know, said in ways that I shouldn't have said. Like, that's happened plenty of times on this channel. It's going to happen again. I'm not proud of that fact, but that's just kind of the nature of live streaming. But, you know, I also do want to see it. I do apologize for it, even if it's out of context, even if it was like not as bad as the chatter is making it seem to be. I do regret that they have sore feelings about it, and I want to hold myself to a higher standard. But if you're also going to bring stuff up like that, I'd like the opportunity to address it. They discard Psychic Frog, so they're like definitely going to Goryo's end of turn, right? What is it going to be saying? Apparently, I said "F you" to a chatter, which I feel like I definitely have said that, and some chatters have deserved it. But even if they do deserve it, doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? Okay, do I attack? I don't attack because if they have Goryo's, I'm dead. I guess I could chump block, but that doesn't sound as good. You didn't say it wrong. You read a message. That is what the dude is talking about. The reason the clip hasn't shown up because it was a mistake on the chatter's part. I mean, that might be the case too. Again, if it's a mistake on the chatter's part, I also don't bear ill will here. I'm not upset about it. They put another frog into the yard and they have a Felia. That's weird. I'm not upset about it, but I just want an opportunity to address it potentially. Oh, cool. They're playing is this the same player? I think it is. But like even if this clip isn't right, like I definitely have yelled at chatters and have felt really bad about it the rest of the day and wished I hadn't, and it kind of like ruins my day when I yell and you know, just even if this wasn't a case where it happened, it definitely has happened before. So if they they can get the Emperor of Bones back with the Overlord, and then they can Overlord the Atraxa if they have a fourth land. They don't have a fourth land right now. So this grows the Goyf only by 1. I played a few leagues with Lutri, and I've wanted Loose Focus, and not wanted the clunky 3-drops Charm Flame K Command. I really like K Command, okay, interesting. I have really liked K Command, and I have really liked Charm, but I think I'm down to cut the. Sorry, train of thought. Lead paints there. I'm down to cut the. We got the Emperor. They do have Emperor, so let's let them exile the Atraxa and activate. I'm down to cut Flame of Ador for Loose Focus. I've lost my focus here. Doesn't Cecil flipped make Nethergoyf attack good because of Indestructible? Well, they just got a free block. Like, what does it accomplish? No, dude, you're not playing around my Unholy Heat or my Tarfire here. No. I only have 1 card in my hand. Would it have been better to attack? They block the Goyf, then we Tarfire it. Yeah, no, that was better. Although saving this for a Emperor Bones, I thought this was really important, and now they just have owned me by playing around the Tarfire, and now I've owned them by drawing another removal spell, I guess. So let me attack. What did they put into their hand? They returned to Solitude there. Kind of a weird choice when they don't have the 5th mana, maybe. So we get to kind of time walk them like this. So I have land, artifact, instant, kindred. So I could exile the Tarfire, the Bauble, the Marsh Flats, and then I would still have 2/3 Goyf that I could haste with Arena and put them down to 6. Their hand is Solitude Mystery card at the moment. Is it really Time Walk if you discard 2 cards? It's like Force of Time Walk. Okay, so this is an extra type, which is really nice, and I could maybe get the Solitude. If they have a white card, this is kind of awkward. It's not that big a deal, though, yeah. They Solitude, they pitch. Okay, this is a card I don't know. Squall, Seed Mercenary. 4 mana, 3/4. Rough Divide. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone against Double Strike, when Squall deals combat damage to a player, return permanent card mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. I like you got guts, kid. I'll tell you what. Okay, so we're gonna haste this Goyf. Get rid of a land. Yeah, I guess we go land, Tarfire. Do I have more sorceries than artifacts? I think it's the same number, right? That's all the way down here. Yeah, I think it's just the 4 Thoughtseizes, so I'm gonna exile the Thoughtseize. And then the exile, oh, I did exile land. This is 4 types, so this is gonna be 3/4. So they have no cards in their hand. The Atraxa has been exiled, which is really nice. They don't have the 5th mana at the top deck like a Solitude or Overlord and hardcast it. Might as well surveil main phase. Even if we don't find like a card that's good in the graveyard, we might grow the Goyf, of course, which could cut a whole turn off the clock. How good is Grange in an Emperor of Bones deck? I think you can just play Grange in normal black-white. You can. I think a Grange mana base is probably 18 lands, by the way. A Grange mana base is probably better than you think it is, and I don't know how good it is, but I think it's better than you think. This is also the 4th frog. They block an Ephemerate. Okay, cool play. Why get rid of Tarfire? Well, I have to get rid of a 4th type anyways. Maybe it's good to keep Tarfire, but I have to get rid of an instant anyways, and then another type. So I thought I might as well just get rid of the Tarfire. Maybe that's not the right attitude. So they have 2 cards in their hand now. One of them is a Surveil land. They're thinking, so it's a spell. Yeah. So we have the challenge starts in 20 minutes. This does give me lethal, so I'm going to cast it. I need to get the. I'm down to cut Flame of Venor for Loose Focus. I think that is a good swap. Tracker is 2 types. Is not it. I assume you mean Tarfire. It is 2 types. So we need to get rid of 4 total types for the Goyf, which is why I got rid of the. It did count as 2 types for the Goyf exile. Maybe that's what you're confused about. Okay, so let's bring in the Nihil Spellbombs. Let's bring in the Dreams of Steel and Oil. Let's bring in the extra Graveyard Trespasser, I guess. Although it's going to be kind of hard to get Atraxa and stuff off of that. Vexing Bauble is good against Ephemerate Rebound, which they're like a little bit more on, and good against Solitude. I think I wanted at least the first copy, if not more than that. I think I do not want Kolaghan's Command against the Atraxa Goryo's deck. I think there's not a lot else. Maybe these Trespassers aren't actually good. Am I feeling about this deck? This deck was really good for us when we were playing it a couple weeks ago. We were like 13-2 our first day streaming it, and then we had like a mediocre challenge, and now we're playing it again with some updates. I think I played 2 Trespassers. Trim a Bauble, trim a Wraith. Let me grab that Loose Focus. Oh, this hand's weird. I think I don't like it. But it's that they heavily misplayed that game. I don't think they did heavily, at least. What were their misplays? I think they just feel like they got by the Emperor of Bones, but they didn't. Maybe I'm missing something. Is Edict the best removal it can do? That's the only card I'm not in love with. I just added it today, actually. So the thing about Edict is, like, Ketchamosa and Scion are just really tough. And we've been playing a Sudden Edict in the sideboard. I ended up feeling like I wanted a Whirlwind Denial as an extra sideboard card for Eldrazi. So I ended up moving the Edict to the main deck, but the Edict needs to become Shieldred's Edict instead of Sudden Edict because it's more versatile, better against Ajani. Better against Control because it hits Planeswalkers. But Sudden Edict is the better sideboard card, in my opinion. So I do think we need one of these in the 75, and I think main decking it is fine. Okay, so cut the Flame, add the Loose Focus, then we'll go to the challenge. I feel like the Loose Focus could have been bought versus rented. I mean, it's faster to rent. And then, like, I don't keep a collection on Magic Online anyway, so it would just get bought back by GoatBots eventually. Should have went to combat the first time I activated Emperor and target Goyf, and then forced to make the move first. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I played the first Denial sometimes too. It's pretty good, and I think like I would rather keep Lutri in these matchups if I could. Okay, so we're gonna take the Atraxa here. Wait. I've got the Cling to Dust for the Gore as Atraxa, so I think I'm gonna take Solitude. I'm not super sure about that. So I'm going to hold up the Cling. Why Thoughtseize over Cecil turn 1? Psychic Frog is the main reason. Like, you just can't let them resolve a Psychic Frog when you don't have an answer for it in your hand. The Cecil doesn't really count because it doesn't block the Frog if they can fly it. I'm not able to narrow down which video the clip is without seeing in my chat logs. When I get home, I'm not on mobile. I might have better luck. It was the day we did a poll on how many people amulets. Okay. Well, how about this? Maybe we just let it go. If you can get it to me within an hour, we can litigate it. But at the moment, I would prefer to just let it go today. I don't know about exiling the Solitude. I think it's maybe interesting. They do find a Ketramos. I thought maybe making the brick is tough. Maybe holding this is good. You know, I just, you know, this is not an open invitation forever. Oh, sorry. Let me, do I play FOMO? I think I'll play FOMO this turn. Yeah, it's okay, Bistro. And I know some people in chat are being mean to you. I don't have any hard feelings, and we could both try to be better, I think. Is there any consideration for the number of really good spells to copy with Lutri, or just having Lutri good enough? Yeah, you don't need to do... let's go to game 3, I think. This is brutal. So the thing is, you don't have to think about it too much. You want to play Sudden Edict against them. They are a Ketramos deck. Let's play Sudden Edict over the Tarfires. It's also like really good against the them holding up the Emperor activation. The thing is, like, you need to have spells to copy with Lutri. Like Lutri just as a random 3/2 isn't good enough. But like your quality of spells, you don't need to have that many that's good with it. But like we're definitely here without compromising. Like we don't need to play Time Walk effects to make sure that Lutri is good in our deck. Not that Thoughtseize probably not. Like the discard spells don't count so much, honestly, but you will want to copy them sometimes. But we have 19 spells that you could copy with the Lutri. Oh, sorry, the plus iterate, that's a good one. So 20 spells you could copy with the Lutri, which is like plenty to make Lutri good without being like, let's play Temporal Mastery, let's play Temporal Trespass, those kind of cards. All right, I believe we'll draw our second land. Cycle this first because if we draw fetch land, then we want to Bauble as like an opt. Nice. Yeah, don't want to draw a third FOMO. If I draw another fetch land, I could flip Cecil turn 2. Although it could be better to flip Cecil on the turn I attack with the FOMO because then you get to untap and you get the extra damage in. I haven't tried Phyrexian Instance as a second spell for Corey, like Gut Shutter or... What is Surgy? Alright, I think I'm going to go FOMO, discard FOMO. If I draw a land, I'm not going to play the Bauble. I think I'm still going to not play it, so I can go Chandler plus Cecil next turn. Yeah, I don't think Corey Steelcutter is good in the deck as is. It's not incredible, but I think the first copy is nice to have. Sir, you could make it better. So Mill of Frog here. You can get Planeswalkers off this. You can get Planeswalkers, so they get it to Fairy. But I think you don't want to lower your card quality for your one of Steelcutter. This is a mistake I made when I added the Unearth to the Lutri deck, I think, where like I thought the like Unearth is good with Oculus, and I can get back a Channeler or a Goyf or a Frog, but it's just like you don't want cards that are good with only one card in your Lutri deck. Does that make sense? It's like the Unearth was really only good really with the one of Oculus. That's really where that card shined. They have another Goryo's. They shouldn't be able to Goryo's me next turn. That's really where that card shined was when you had the one of Oculus, and that was just way too narrow. Do we have lethal next turn? I think we do. So hopefully they don't have Solitude Ephemerate, but if they just play a Frog. I figured that they had Frog because they didn't get Frog. So if I just Sudden Edict them, they can't discard Atraxa. And then the Cecil untaps. Oh, I don't have my life totals. I would have to untap the FOMO. So hit. So if I just untap the Channeler, then I hit 4, 7, 10. It's not lethal, is it? I think the fact that this just doesn't, like, they can't discard it. Oh, they can discard Atraxa. Oh, wait, this is on the stack, so no one can do anything. It doesn't have to be the only thing on the stack. How do you feel about running cards that go infinite with Lutri and Lutri decks? I'm not of the opinion that there are any such cards. Since Lutri says when you cast Lutri, you get to do this thing. My impression is that there are no cards that go infinite with Lutri in Modern. If I'm wrong and there is one, I would love to know what it is. But as far as I can tell, there is no infinite combo with it. Nara with the 23 months, welcome back. Does this deck struggle with Flage? It can, obviously, but we're main decking Trespasser, we're main decking Cling. We have other sideboard cards for it, so it's not really the worst problem, though. There is one? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, so I would love to hear. I've been working on Blue-White Flicker at the Quantum Riddler to think Recruiter to get Harbinger is a good enough reason to not be Esper. There's almost no chance I would play Recruiter. Is there a world where it's better to Heat, hold up Cling? The problem is they could discard their whole hand to save the Frog from Heat. And honestly, like, they just almost can't Goryo's me next turn if I Sudden Edict, which is kind of nice. Okay, release to the winds. Exile target non-land permanent for as long as the card remains exiled. It can cast it without paying its mana cost. So you cast this, then you copy with Lutri to target itself, and then you get infinite casts of Lutri, and do you have to have something else to go with it? Ready for Spider-Man spoilers and prepare the next PowerPoint? Not anytime soon, but seems like I'm gonna have to. They exile their Overlord to gain 6. Good play. Aren't they just dead on board still? I guess they're gonna block whatever I untap with FOMO, actually. Because if I untap this, they block here, then they take 4. If I untap Cecil, they block this, and then they take 5. Oh, but then, so what I do is I target the FOMO, and then the Cecil untaps on the transform, and I win. Do you play pre-release? I used to, but me and my friends, we playtest our game on Fridays that we're working on. We're like 2 years into development. Very excited to play tonight. Been playing around with your Viper builds. Do you have a favorite? I think Jund has worked the best. I'm not sure if Jund is better or the Affinity build. I think it's kind of close. They had really similar records. I would say that Jund is higher floor and Affinity's higher ceiling, which makes it hard to evaluate. Probably mulligan this on the draw on 7. Yeah, our opponent's a fellow streamer. Shout out twitch.tv/mistaken. Doesn't just play Amulet Titan, but plays a lot of Amulet Titan. Am I going to either Modern RC in October, November? No, the Modern RC that's near me is a week before my wedding, so I'm gonna not attend. Okay, main phase, Elegant Parlor, Surveil, Surveil Dress Down. I guess maybe we should have cycled first. I don't think it's going to change all that much. We probably get Delirium here. That's Delirium. I do think it's a good find, but we also get the value from the extra Surveil. I do need that. And Andrew gifting us up to Mistaken. So they just drew a Arid Mesa. Now they're drawing a Flage, unless they fetch, I guess. I'll always be in a swag spoke. What do you want to do this turn, chat? What should we do? Yeah, I've been really liking OGK command lately. It's been just weirdly good for me. Hopefully they don't have Wrath of Skies. I think we should commit here. They had it. Is the Spider-Man card better than Shrieking Drake and Prayers? Or is 1 mana value better to bounce opponent's stuff? So like the main thing with Shrieking Drake usually is that it gets tutored by like Recruiter and Ranger. This also gets tutored by Recruiter, but there should be like way better mana war effects than this. Like there's one from Final Fantasy I'm pretty sure is better if you want just like a 3 mana 2/2 that bounces something. Yeah, I think it's Jill. How am I supposed to remember these Final Fantasy cards? I'm not cut out for this, but I think there's a card that may or may not be called Jill that I think is maybe a little better. So I guess we take the Consign so they can't scam either of those this turn. Joe can't bounce itself. Okay, so that for the infinite life combo is a thing. I mean, I've been saying this. I really don't think of Shrieking Drake as an infinite life card, and because it's just on Magic Online, not much of it. It's not a real thing, but might be a good way to think about it. So I'm down to 13. So this grows the Goyf by 1 and is a lot more mana efficient. I'm going to play around, or I'm not going to play around the top decking Arena of Glory. I'll just lose to that if I don't draw a red source off the Street Wraith. But I know their hand is Null Drifter Mystery card, so I think getting a good card here is pretty like, yeah, I gotta stock up there. If I draw a red source, I'm also like pretty incentivized to just Tarfire them. If I just Tarfire them, then they're down to 16, then down to 15 off the fetch, then down to 10, and then they go back up to 13, and then this is not a 2-turn clock, it's 1 short, so I'm going to prioritize the Surveil instead of the extra damage, the 1 extra damage. And with, I guess, the slightly added benefit of being good against top deck Arena of Glory. They go to 9 since grows by 1. That's what I was counting that, I thought, but maybe I miscounted. If I did, I probably should have done it because then it's 2-turn clock. But getting to Graveyard, that is really good. All right, easy turn. Love an easy turn. All right, we know their hand is Null Drifter Mystery card. All right, that I guess I don't want to see that actually because that's that lets them escape the Flage again. Nine, then 12 after Flage, go for 6, 7. Okay, then I did miscount, which is pretty critical because then I may maybe we'll just miss lethal because of it. Although I guess with them cracking this fetch, it really didn't matter much, and the Surveil ended up mattering a lot too. So they're going to kill my FOMO, I assume. They're up to 9. That does grow the Goyf up to 7, 8. Not a bad top deck. Not a bad top deck. All right. We could kill Flage. I get it. Best top deck was Phoenix, though. K-Command or Tarfire also like would have made them jump with the Flage. So the hand is Null Drifter, mystery card, mystery card. They have Consign. Nope. So up a game, not too bad. So I want to bring in the extra Graveyard Trespasser. I don't know if I want to bring in the Ashioks. They are more creature heavy than Control usually is, and this also exiles Flage. I think I'm okay bringing it in. I think I want to bring in the Spellbomb. The thing is, they just also I guess hold on. So maybe Graveyard Hate just isn't that good against this build though, right? Because they have the dress downs and they have the consigns, or they may cut like consigns. But they just have a lot of ways to get a Flage in play, even if I have the Graveyard Hate. So maybe I just want to keep in the Heats. They were really good that game. Yeah, I think I like this config. Let me check on the challenge time. Yeah, still plenty of time. I think I need to go pee too. Gonna try to flip Cecil turn 2, I guess. Although that might be less mana efficient than playing a FOMO, but I also would prefer to not. I prefer to not run too hard into a Wrath Disguise. So we'll take one of the two and then shock so we can flip the Cecil, and then hopefully they just Wrath the Cecil. That would be really nice. Have I paired FOMO with Rottenmouth Viper? I have off stream, and the build seemed a little bit worse than the Jund build that I had, and then the Affinity build, but it might be okay. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to happen. So let's go FOMO, discard Blood Crypt. Do have Delirium now. Don't want to draw that, so we'll gain Surveil. Their hand is 2 Consigns, right? And an Island and a Mystery card. There's the Island. They have a Flage or a Null Drifter. We did beat Titan, yeah. I mean, we're like a counterspell deck, you know, it's just kind of one of your good matchups. Arena of Glory would be nice. So they did get to draw 2 more cards. They're already down 2 Wraths, so we should be fine. Well, I'm glad I kept these Heats in, I guess, but I guess we're getting 3 for 2'd. They spin 2 cards, I spin 1, and they get 2 back. Can't count that high. Yeah, that's kind of the thing about the whole counter spells against Amulet Titan discourse. Like, if they played 1 copy of Cavern of Souls, like, it increases your matchup against these decks so much. It's really weird to me they don't. Like, I was watching Dingo play Grixis against, or it might be Dimir against Titan, and he just had a handful of counter spells. He's like, the good matchup. And then they play 1 Cavern of Souls, like, the bad matchup. So it is kind of a weird dynamic. Especially with the Cave. Urza's Cave seems not that tough. But lucky for us, they decided not to play it today. Yeah, so that, of course, subtlety good against them too. We did have the subtlety game 1. Having a fast Murktide was good. Okay, so we're 3-1. Let's get a 4-1 prediction. This Rakdos deck continues to be really strong also. Ken says the opinion that Cavern and Titan only makes you lose game 3 instead of game 2. I guess I would love to hear an expansion on that thought. You're just too slow on the draw. I think Saga's probably the better card in the matchup. I mean, maybe. I mean, I've played a lot of blue decks against Titan, and I just always feel so helpless when they have Cavern, but maybe it's just because there's like just very little you can do against it. Okay, that's a great draw. I think I'm getting basic Swamp. FOMO and Baubles could be no much deck. Well, you can't play a lot of these cards without Bauble. Goyf, DRC is just like a non-starter. Unfortunately. Dak with the 4 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're liking the stream. Too slow in Harbinger and hand disruption makes Cavern useless. Yeah, so there's kind of a difference, right, between like Titan is bad against the combination of like blue-black frog that has Thoughtseize, counterspells, and Harbinger. Like there's not really a lot of good ways to. Oh, we're up against Jessica again. Can we finish 2 control matches in between rounds here? That would be kind of crazy. I'm gonna take the stock up, I think. Could take the snare for the FOMO, but I can try to play around it too, because I think they'll probably tap out for the Null Drifter on 3. What did they pitch? They pitched Prismatic Ending. This is what they just drew. You hope to see Viper in the challenge in the future? Yeah, maybe. Maybe if I have a lot of energy, I could play it on. I think I just went Delirium. I could play it on Monday's challenge, but I think I'm probably going to be deck building instead. But, you know, the Cavern of Souls against any non-frog counterspell deck, which are not that common, for sure. Happens a lot. It's just maybe more so like the brews I have, you know what I mean? They discard the Steam Vents. So they had a Snare, Mountain, Drifter. If you drop to play yeah, if I drop to focus on the challenge because it starts Super Fang, we'll just refund the prediction. I will not scam the believers like that. So they decide to hold up the Snare instead, which is fine. Maybe they also have a counter spell. Maybe they're trying to scam the Drifter because they drew a Consign and the land. No, that can't be the case because they couldn't also have the land in their hand right now at least. So maybe a little bit weak against Flage, but also kind of hard for them to have like White Source Verdict because there's only one unknown card right now. Ah, so they are going to scam the Drifter. Shoop with the tier 1. Thank you. Welcome back. Do you dabble in Warhammer 40k at my LGS? I actually played Warhammer before I played Magic. I was going to my LGS with my friends, and there were 2 games going. I was invited to both. I picked Warhammer, and then I switched to Magic, and I haven't played Warhammer since. I have 2 close friends who are really into it, and they tell me some stuff. Also, I was invited by Games Workshop to go play a Warhammer card game that they made at like a Warhammer convention in Florida, and I was really excited. I was like watching Warhammer lore videos on YouTube. I was like really getting into it, and then it was Hurricane Harvey, right? The hurricane stopped me from having fun with Warhammer. I guess I actually just want to Tarfire them because then the K came out of Cecil. So I was really excited to go. But they didn't reschedule, or if they did, they didn't invite me back. Shoot with the tier 1, buy with the 38, welcome back. An Act of God says, no, you must be a Magic player instead forever. What army would I play? I don't know. I don't know. Who do I like? The orcs are kind of fun. I'm kind of over the orcs a little bit. Okay, so this doesn't do it by itself. If they have another Consign, that's a pain. Oh, they have Snare, not Consign. So hopefully they don't have like a Galvanic Discharge. So do I play around Force of Negation? I think yes, and upkeep the K commands. Return Trespasser, deal them 2. Because I would lose really hard to Force of Negation here. And if they have Counterspell, we beat that also. Or probably beat that. Hear this deck idea. Hear it now. My energy with Guide Ocelot that's secretly playing green for ramp into Marvel. Well, what are you marveling into? Okay, they had the Force of Negation, and they had the blue card. So now we need to avoid a removal spell here. We know they have Snare in their hand. No, they drew Prismatic Ending. I mean, we played around the Force as well as we could. Or maybe we could have just tried to let them escape the Flage? Was that better? Maybe that was better. We aren't shocking them. I think I did choose 2. I meant to shock them with the K commander at 2. That was the whole plan. If I chose a different mode, it was wrong. But that is the mode I meant to choose for sure. Now this kills them through the Flage. Round 2 of the challenge is about to start. What could we have done to avoid this? Probably nothing. They did discard the Snare to the Trespasser. That's true. So maybe they didn't have the blue card. Yeah, running into double control was maybe not the best idea if I wanted to finish this league mid-challenge, but... They did discard a Snare. They might have another one. Yeah, I can double Q. I might just be... I think I'm going to have the Lutri on the screen, but... So they have a Solitude, so they're going to go to 1 and then die. Yeah, I'm excited to work on some Cosmogloive. I think I'm going to wait for Escape Flage. Yeah, that might have been the correct move. I'm surprised you didn't rush it in case Solitude. What do you mean? Haste FOMO? I did haste FOMO. Yeah, they block here, they chump the Goy if they go to 4, and then they die to the FOMO, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go to game 2. We just played against Jeskai. We won, so let's see if we can win again. Although, round 2 of the challenge is also starting. We won round 1 against Amulet Titan. This was the sideboard plan last time. I'm going to click submit, and then I'm going to play this on the other monitor, I think. Playing Goyf with Powder for Black Green Eldrazi. Very unlikely. I'm way more likely to play it with Detective's Phoenix, Necro, Ketchamos Relic, in one of those 3 plans. I don't really understand why everybody's like, Serum Powder. that seems to be everybody's default. Okay, opponent's on the Molda 6 on the play. Double Q is tough. Taking 3 down to 14 over here. They've got 2 cards in their hand. It seems like they do have a 1-drop. Maybe they're going to Galvanic Discharge their own Johnny. Or their cat. So they play another Ocelot Pride, which is not ideal. So I attacked last turn because I had this Scour. I was hoping that they would block. Alright, so let's pass back here. They have 1 card in their hand, drawing up to 2. They have another good spell. We're in a lot of trouble. They don't have another creature that they can cast, it seems. So they have Kitty's Blessing. So I'm interested in blocking here. I'm interested in blocking here. I think I trade the Bowmaster too, and then this way they don't get to copy these tokens. They do get to copy the Ajani token, but if I flip the Ajani now, then I can fly and kill it with the frog. So they're going to get a copy with the Pride. They're going to get a bunch of tokens, but then I can kill the Ajani and then try to stabilize on the board. I think that's the plan. It's an annoying plan. I'm going to concede the challenge match. I'm just going to need pure focus. I'm sorry. I'm going to concede the league match. I need pure focus on the challenge, unfortunately. So if we have any mods who can refund the league prediction, I just can't. I can't split my focus this much.